Welcome to Speak Up English Hub. C2 listening practice for improving your fluency in English.
Welcome back, advanced English learners. If you're joining us here at Speak Up English Hub for our advanced English listening sessions, well, you are in for an absolute treat today. We're jumping right into a special interactive explainer workshop. We're going to take Clayton M. Christensen's famous business innovation theories and actually apply them to the most important organization you will ever manage, your own life. Let's get started. Okay, here's our itinerary for today's explainer. We've got 5 key pillars to cover: decoding true motivation, navigating unexpected opportunities, auditing resource allocation, building healthy family cultures, and finally, the trap of marginal thinking. This whole session is carefully designed to help you high-performing professionals out there shift gears. We're moving away from chasing those quick, short-term rewards and focusing on securing genuine, long-term fulfillment. All right, Section 1, decoding your true motivation. We're going to kick things off by looking at what actually drives your daily satisfaction. Spoiler alert, we're totally dismantling the old idea that just tossing more money at a problem leads to better performance and happiness. So let's talk about Herzberg's two-factor theory. It essentially splits our drives into 2 categories: hygiene factors and motivators. Think about hygiene factors in your home life. This is stuff like paying the bills, keeping your job secure so you can provide, or just doing the daily chores, right? If you don't do them, your spouse and family are going to be pretty unhappy. But here's the catch. Just doing them doesn't magically create joy. It completely shatters this popular myth that simply providing basic financial security is enough. If you lack those basic hygiene factors, yes, you will absolutely be miserable. But if you fix them, you still aren't truly motivated. To get that deep, lasting satisfaction and connection at home, you need actual motivators. We're talking about recognition, shared intellectual challenges, and real, meaningful personal development. I want you to just pause for a second and think about this first journaling prompt. In your personal life right now, are you just checking the boxes on basic hygiene factors? Or are you actively pursuing genuine motivation through deep emotional connection? You know, people often think just being a good financial provider is enough. But studies consistently show the most satisfied families are the ones prioritizing shared development and mutual responsibility. So ask yourself honestly, what are you actually chasing today? Moving right along to Section 2, navigating unexpected career opportunities. Let's see how this ties in to our understanding of strategic career planning versus, well, reality. Drawing on Henry Mintzberg's theory, we really need to contrast the rigid, deliberate plans we make with the emergent strategies that kind of just pop up when our initial efforts fail. We all have these calculated, deliberate career strategies based on where we think the market is heading. But honestly, the real magic, the true growth that often happens when those exact plans completely fall apart, forcing us to adapt to unforeseen opportunities rising from the ashes. A brilliant example of this is Honda in the 1960s. This story perfectly illustrates why you have to be calculating, but also flexible. Embracing an unexpected emergent strategy literally saved Honda's entire US operation. See, their deliberate plan was to pour everything into competing with Harley-Davidson using these large motorcycles, and it was a total disaster. Quality issues everywhere. It almost ruined them. But while this was happening, locals in Los Angeles started noticing Honda employees just zipping around the hills on these tiny, kind of funny-looking bikes called Super Cubs. The public absolutely loved them. So, by pivoting away from their failed deliberate strategy and embracing this totally accidental emergent strategy, Honda completely revolutionized their business. Okay, Section 3. Auditing personal resource allocation. I want you to consider your life as a business. Your personal time, your effort, your wealth, these are your limited resources, and we need to do a serious audit on where exactly they are being spent. The big takeaway here is that ambitious professionals naturally default to investing in short-term rewards. You finish a project, you get praised, you get a bonus, boom, you get that quick dopamine hit. But by doing that, we tragically neglect the long-term emotional investments that actually provide lifelong happiness. Those short-term things reward us immediately, but long-term relationships, they represent a paradox. Raising resilient kids or maintaining deep friendships takes years of gradual, really challenging effort before you fully realize the reward. You have to put in the work even when it doesn't seem strictly necessary in the moment. Take a moment to reflect on this. Are you giving your family only the leftover 30 minutes of your day while pouring your absolute best energy into immediate career demands? It is so incredibly easy to let the urgent emails from colleagues or the promise of more money completely push your family out of your mind. But remember, the people who quietly support your professional drive today without complaining are the exact people you're going to depend on later in life. If you underinvest in them right now, they just won't be there to support you when you truly need it most. That brings us to Section 4, Building Healthy Family Cultures. Shifting our focus to the home front, we need to apply our professional intuition and empathy to fulfill our most important roles. Just like a company like IKEA fulfills a very specific job for its customers, providing quick, affordable furniture, empathy in a marriage means discovering what job your spouse actually needs you to do. It's not about just acting on flawed intuition. Think about this scenario. A husband comes home, sees a messy kitchen, and intuitively cleans it up, thinking he's being a hero. But if his wife has been managing incredibly demanding kids all day, the actual job she needs him to do isn't cleaning. She just needs another adult to sit down and simply listen to her. Understanding the actual needs of your partner, that's how you build deep, unbreakable loyalty. Now, when it comes to creating a family culture, your job isn't to just control bad behavior or helicopter parent. It's about letting your children face independent challenges to build lasting resilience. I know, it is so tempting to just give your kids everything they want and sweep every single obstacle out of their way. But true self-esteem, that's about when a child has to navigate a difficult teacher or struggle to learn a new sport and they figure out a solution themselves. Your role is not to fight their battles or prevent them from failing. Your role is to stand right there and support them when they inevitably do fail. And this really highlights why delay in family investment is basically impossible. The most vital foundation of your child's intelligence and cognitive development happens in their very first year. It demands your immediate, consistent presence. You can't just tell yourself, well, I'll focus on my career right now and just make up for it by giving them attention later. It doesn't work that way. The way you speak to them early on forms their entire foundation as thinking beings. Neglecting a family in its earliest stages will inevitably manifest as huge problems down the road. All right, our final stop, Section 5, the trap of marginal thinking. We are going to dissect the terrifying danger of compromising your personal integrity when you're under intense career pressure. Think about Blockbuster and Netflix for a second. Blockbuster actually knew all about online streaming and DVD rentals, but they looked at the marginal cost of changing their business model and decided it was just too high. They compromised. They did nothing. And Netflix completely crushed them. Now take that exact concept of marginal thinking and apply it to your personal ethics. Applying marginal thinking to your moral decisions is a guaranteed recipe for long-term ruin. Let's look at a real-world example of this slippery slope, the catastrophic ethical decline of Nick Leeson at Barings Bank. You see, integrity isn't usually about some grand movie-style moral dilemma. It's built or destroyed in tiny, everyday decisions. Leeson had a trading loss, and he told himself he would hide it in an unmonitored account just this once. Just this once. But that single marginal decision trapped him. To cover up that first lie, he had to tell a bigger one. Then he started forging documents, actively deceiving auditors, and eventually he was arrested and sent to prison. Because he justified one single lapse in judgment, he ultimately caused a $1.3 billion loss. He literally bankrupted a centuries-old institution, which ended up being sold for a single pound. That is the devastating reality of the just this once excuse. It never ever stops at once. When the pressure is on, maintaining your integrity requires constant, unyielding self-awareness, so you don't take that very first step down the slope. So I'm going to leave you with one final provocative question to wrap up our explainer today. Are you making a just this once moral exception in your life right now that could ultimately cost you your future? I really hope this workshop inspires a profound reassessment of how you measure your life. True success means investing your time, your energy, and your empathy, not just into your career, but deeply into your family, your character, and your resilience. Thank you so much for joining me for this advanced English listening session here at Speak Up English Hub. Keep striving for that long-term fulfillment, and I'll catch you next time.
Thanks for being with us. See you on our next video. Let's speak up.